I have my laser set up. You can see the line. All I'm doing is measuring from the laser line back to the stud to figure out how much I need to shim this out. So if we look, I'm gonna measure right in the middle and right from the laser line. The laser looks like it's right on 3/4, but the tub is right at 1/4. So I know I've got a 1/2 inch offset. So whatever I measure at the top from the laser line to the stud, I'm gonna take a 1/2 inch off of that to be my shim measurement. So I know I'm at a 1/4 inch down here at the bottom. And then up here at the top, let's see if we get this centered. Looks like the laser's right on the 1 inch mark. Kind of hard to see there, but so 1 inch minus a 1/2, that's a 1/2 inch. So I basically need a shim that goes from 1/4 at the bottom to 1/2 inch at the top. That's as long as here. I haven't measured that yet, but so I'll do that for each one of these. They're all good. All right, so I got all my measurements. I made a little sketch of each stud, and then measured from top to bottom. Now what I've done, this left side here, this is the only one that I'm not going to be able to make perfectly plumb, because the top of that back timber is 5/8 leaning in over the bottom, and if you look at the bottom of the shower is already tight. So I don't want to trim the whole thing. So what I've done is on my measurements, basically took the measurements, like 1/4 at the bottom to 1/2 at the top, 1/4 at the bottom to -1/4 at the top, and then 0 at the bottom to -5/8 at the top. So I said, all right, let's make this all be in plane, but not plumb. So I said, let's add 5/8 to the upper measurement on each of them. So the bottom will still stay in line with the shower, but I'm going to basically tilt the top of that wall in by 5/8 of an inch. So at the back corner, that's basically no shim on that back corner. And then, so you can see that 0 to 0 on number 3 there. So I added 5/8, so the number 2 is going to get a 1/4 at the bottom, and then a 3/8 to the top. And then my number 1 is going to be a 1/4 at the bottom to 1 1/8 at the top, and that's going to tilt the whole thing in the way I want it. Now the other ones, this back wall right back here, that leans basically out away from us. So 4, 5, 6, 7 is all that wall, and you can see they're pretty narrow at the bottom and going to almost 2 inches at the top on some of these. And then the right side wall is not bad. I've already got these cut to length. Got my dimensions here. First one's going to be 1/4 at one end to 1 1/8 on the other, and then I'll run the string. All right, shim number 1, and then I've already marked this side, so I'm gonna cut that while I'm here. And shim number 2. All right, I got the first couple on this wall up. So this wall here should be actually good to go. I'm gonna set the laser up again and verify that all my measurements are good before I go put everything else up and realize that I've been doing the whole thing wrong. We have a slight problem. So I've got the shims up on this left wall and the back wall, and here's my level. I can't fit it across, but I'm using it as a straight edge. If I touch it in the back, I touch it in the middle, and over here you can see I've got like 1/2 inch gap. And it's just rocking on the middle, and that's the case all the way through. So I think I'm gonna pull the shim off the middle one. It's not very thick. I think it was like 1/8 at the bottom to 3/8 at the top or something like that. So I'm gonna pull that one off and maybe recut it, or maybe just leave it off and shim by hand. But the plane of the wall is good. I checked that. It's 5/8 in at the top and 0 at the bottom, which is exactly what I wanted. So that's good. Now this back wall, a similar problem. I've checked them all, and they're all vertical, like perfectly plumb. So that's good. But I don't know if I cut wrong or if I measured wrong or what. This one here is like, you have the same problem. It sticks out like 1/4 inch at least, maybe 3/8 from the other ones. Like you can see, that's a ton of motion there, just rocking. So again, I think I'm gonna pull that off and remeasure from a straight edge. And then I have another issue, probably hard to see on camera, but maybe if I do this, you can kind of see a wave in this as it goes down. These studs are like, they're saw cut, I guess, but not real modern. So they're pretty wavy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these off, these 2 right ones, pull those off, and I'm going to scribe the shape of the stud onto it, cut that out with the jigsaw so that actually is flat, because here's what we got going on. If I hold it up here, it's good, but you can see, let's see, you can see as I get down here, it's like in 2 planes. It wants to go here, so we've got a high spot right here in the middle by this blocking. So you got to do a little more work here. Whole fine tuning. Success. I have shims on the left and the back wall, and those walls are pretty flat. And this right wall, nothing is out by more than 1/8, so I'm calling it good enough. I did put a little bit of a shim down in this bottom right corner here. That was the worst spot. That 2x4 kind of does a bend, but besides that, we're pretty good. Now to fix my issues, first off, I just removed the shim that was here. I was measuring along and I realized I had this piece of, I don't know, it's like 1/4 inch or something, a little less than 1/4 inch Luan. And that actually is just about the right size. So I just nailed that thing up here, and that's good. I checked it and it's all in plane and everything. So that's good. This back wall, I don't know what happened. Maybe I cut the wrong side of the line, or maybe I measured weird or whatever, but this one right here, it used to be 2 inches at the top, and it used to be like 5/8 at the bottom. That was just so clearly wrong. And I essentially, through trial and error mostly, got it down to, it's like 1/4 at the bottom, and it's 1.5 inches at the top. So yeah, I was off pretty significantly, but it's good now. I did also shave some off this one in this middle section here, with the jigsaw. It worked okay. It's good enough. It fixed the problem, I guess. So yeah, I think we're in good shape. I'm gonna install the new drain into the shower. So this is the top half. It's got this like grate or grill or whatever that'll snap in after we're all done, and then the nut and gasket on the bottom. So I'm just gonna put a ring of plumber's putty on this thing.
But it doesn't like stick for good.
No, it doesn't stick. It's not supposed to stick, and it's not supposed to dry out, so that it always maintains its seal. All right, so got the ring of plumber's putty on there. We'll push that into the drain. This is gonna get covered by this cover thing, so it doesn't really matter my orientation.
Is it squishing enough, you think?
It's going. Once I get the nut, it'll be easier. But you see it squeezing out the side here.
Yeah.
So I think it'll work. There it goes. All right, that's snug. I'll just put a wrench on that and tighten it up. This spot right here, I probably could have put a little bit more putty in there. It's not gonna leak. It's just gonna have a little spot there where it's gonna kind of sit some water. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do this again, but I think I'm gonna leave it for now. I'm just gonna peel up the extra here. Yeah, normally this would peel off in like a single string. I think this is just kind of dried out. So I don't know. Not super pleased with how this is going. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up redoing this. This is just too dry. This putty's not good. I don't think it would leak, but it's also a little rough. And that roughness is gonna hold soap scum and nastiness. So I think we'll try again once I get a new thing of putty. So I got some new plumber's putty for the drain here. So I just put that in. It's much better, oozing out lovely. And then I've got this is like a 2-foot length of pipe that I've just got in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the downstairs and I'm going to pull it through until it's the right, length I need to line up with everything down there. And then I'll come up and I'll mark it and I'll pull it out of the rubber boot so I can cut it. But then I'll know the exact length I need to make the plumbing all work on the bottom. This is just dry fit right now, just to see how it's going to go, but I actually really like how this is all lining up. This is the original pipe here that I cut, and new P-trap, and that's the new drain up there. So because the new shower pan is 6 inches wider than the old one, and so the drain was moved over a few inches. So we had to get that little shimmy in there to line up. I've got some blocking in here. This is where the backer board and the sheetrock are gonna meet. I'll cut this out and I'll put a new piece in from the stud that's over to here. But so that's there. I've moved this blocking forward so it's in the same plane as the wall. So we're gonna put a grab bar there, and that'll so we'll have a firm fixture there. I've got this fixed in better. It had like one screw in it, so I put a couple nails in it, so now that's solid. So I think I'm ready to start putting up the backer board. I'm gonna start on this left side wall. This is the one that slants in quite a bit. Once I get that on, I'll go to the back and I'll have to basically cut this left side at an angle all the way up to fit, but I'll fit it up to this left side wall. I got the left wall is totally, well, the Wonderboard's up. I got the back wall, just got a space at the top, and I don't know, I didn't do any of this because I got to get the plumbing, but I also somehow miscalculated my materials, and so I need to buy 2 more sheets of the backer board. Basically finish off that top and then do the bottom. I have enough pieces to do the top over here, but so that's where we have to stop for today. Got this plumbing all done. New, it's called a drop ear elbow, I think, for the shower head. I need to put one more board below this, but I had to get the plumbing attached first. But this is in, this is mounted, got my hot and my cold running through the floor, and all properly fastened to the studs. So I think that's pretty much all set. I'm going to put that last board in there for the shower valve, and then I can put the backer board on this wall and close it up. I'm about to make some backwards progress. This shower base is 3 feet deep by 4 feet wide. So on this left wall, I put up the backer board. That's a full sheet on the bottom, 3 by 5. I just had to cut the top one. I couldn't do the right wall because I had to do the plumbing and I didn't have the fittings, so I did the back wall. But I wasn't thinking, and I ran the pieces all the way from the board on the left all the way into the corner on the right. I didn't leave space to slide the board on the right wall in behind it. So I could cut these 2 pieces over here, cut a 1/2 inch off so that they fit, and that's possible. However, I also have an issue where I don't really have much material here in this corner to attach that board to. So I think what I have to do is remove the 3 pieces on the back wall and trim a 1/2 inch off the right side of each of those, and then I'll do the right wall, and then I'll put the back wall back on after I get the right wall screwed into that stud in the corner. So that's where we're at. Okay, it's all done. Well, done. The backer board's up. Got that back wall trimmed and put back up. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the ceiling. The panels stop about here, so we're gonna have like 4 inches around the top of the ceiling. I may paint this potentially. I've read that I'm using Red Guard for waterproofing, so I may do the top edge, and I've read that you can paint over Red Guard. So we'll kind of see. I'll deal with that after I get the panels up. But yeah, this is good progress today. I'm doing some thin set first coat here, so I put some fiberglass tape that's approved for cement board on the seams, and I'm putting the thin set mortar over those, and then filling in the screw holes This doesn't need to be fully waterproof because we're using the waterproof shower walls, but I'm doing this mostly for the corners. After this dries, I'm just going to do the one coat, and then I'm going to put Red Guard waterproofing on the corners and the seams. I'm not going to worry about the whole thing, but I want to make sure that if the corners of the shower panels leak, that these corners are nice and sealed up and will drain water into the tub where it's supposed to go. All right, we'll give that 24 hours to dry. Like I said, mostly concerned about the seams. And then once this is dry, we'll get it waterproofed.
All right, so it smells pretty terrible in here. How you doing?
Good.
What are you applying there?
Called Red Guard waterproofing.
We have not decided to paint it pink.
I'm mostly doing the seams, the screw holes, and I'm going to do this whole wall because it's got the shower head and the valve leak points, so I don't want water getting in.
Will this roller just be trash after this? It doesn't
Yeah.
clean off?
It might, but it's trash.
Yeah, you just got one that you're okay with throwing away. Oh, it's very thick, huh?
Yeah, it's like bubble gum.
Wow.
Okay, I've got the waterproofing done. I've got the lights off so we can see the laser better. I've got my laser set up with crosshairs. So this is a perfectly plumb line up the middle and a perfectly horizontal line across. And what I'm going to do is measure from those points down to the bottom and my width, maybe 3 or 4 spots up, so that I can cut. This is the back panel, so I can cut that to exactly fit. You know, I know that the left side wall is not exactly plumb because I did that on purpose. Maybe there's some other inconsistencies. So this will take care of that. I'll get that back wall on, and then I can move on to the 2 sides. All right, so I've transferred the measurements from the laser lines on the wall to, this is the back of the, well, it's the back panel, but it's the back side of the back panel as well. So to avoid confusion, I marked the top, as well as this is going to be the right side when it's flipped up, and obviously this side's the left. So I've marked my center, and then I got confused a little bit and marked the wrong end, but basically this line right here is where my crosshairs were basically right there. So then I could measure off of that my numbers, and like here's my cut line right there. Do that on both sides. So now I just need to trim this up, and I will have the shape that should fit in that spot perfectly, and you know, take care of any of the out of plumb or out of level that I have going on.
All right, here we go.
good sign.
Some snugness.
Hey. You gotta trim that corner. Obviously the plastic will need to come out, but
That's good.
it fits pretty well. Besides that corner. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that.
Good. So you're gonna mark?
Well, yeah, can you get a pencil?
Sure.
Or a Sharpie? Yes, lovely.
Nice.
Great. So now, I need to take this out of here. I haven't actually found them yet, but supposedly in the box there's supposed to be some strips of like tape that gets sealed into the corner. That's another barrier in case this joint leaks. And so I gotta put that in, and then I need to put 2 tubes worth of adhesive on the back of this, and then we stick it up. And then I need to do the same thing for this wall and this wall.
All right.
So the kit includes these strips. They're already pre-cut to length for the corners. So I just put a bead of adhesive in there. I marked where the top of this is going to sit. And I'm just using my putty knife to get it into the corner. Kind of squeeze it flat to the wall. And just smooth it out. If there's any extra adhesive that squirts out, I'll wipe that up. But
This is a thing of beauty. Is it satisfying to put them so evenly spaced?
yeah, it's a killer on the hands. But
So what's the alternative to using a gun like this? Isn't this the nicer gun?
this is the nicer one we have. I'm sure there are nicer ones out there.
What is this? What are you doing? Why are you doing it that way? Why did you do it different?
Just this little border. Okay.
After so much effort to make it consistent. It's a really funny decision. Is it time?
It's time.
Okay.
You get one shot, so it's gotta be good.
Don't break the light fixture.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Directions just have it sitting right down on the bottom. Oh jeez.
What would happen?
Oh, this corner thing is all folded up.
Oh, bollocks. Oh, yeah, I see. Oh my god. Oh my god. So that's something to keep in mind. It is possible to drag the tape. Oh my goodness.
there's still a plastic coating. Oh,
What's wrong?
I only put adhesive up to here because I thought that's as high as it went, but it actually goes up to here. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world because there's going to be a strip that's adhesive
Yeah.
up above it.
That's adhesive.
It's adhered.
Adhered above. So then now you just have to stay squished up against the wall, your whole body until it dries.
No, this should hold.
It's beautiful.
Okay. Side one. So, got that back wall on, and then kind of looking at how we want to do this. The side panels are going to extend past the backer board a little bit with the trim and everything, and sit flush on the sheetrock. So to make that happen, especially on this side, I had to kind of level everything out. There's a new piece of sheetrock I put in there. So I just did put some mud in there. That's going to need some time to dry. Obviously, this is just a first coat. I'm definitely going to need some sanding and at least one more coat, maybe two, to kind of fill in those gaps. But there's actually quite a lot of mud, and there's probably 1/2 inch of mud on this right side here. So I know that's not ideal, but I'm trying to get this done relatively quickly. I also got the corner bead stuck in there. I gotta let this dry, and then I can come back over this and cover that bead up. But right now that's just sitting there. I should have taken this off first, but I didn't, so I'll do that now. But yes, once I gotta kind of shift focus and get the sheetrock taken care of before I can put these side panels on. I've got the sheetrock kind of patched up from the original wall over to the shower backer board. The shower panels are gonna come out basically to here, and then there's a trim piece. So I needed this all to be done before I could continue putting the shower panels in, so everything is sitting in the right plane. I think it came out okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but it is probably the smoothest part of the wall in this bathroom. So I've got this left side is all taken care of, and the right side I got the corner bead in. Got that taken care of. So I am now gonna move on and put the shower panels in. All right, I got this edge cut. It's a pretty decent fit. There's caulking that goes in the corner and everything, but so I'm pretty happy with that. And what I've decided is on this side I'm actually not gonna cut it, because what I'm gonna do is have, this is not the right piece of trim, but it gives the look. I'm gonna have the trim basically go all the way to the floor, just on the outside of the tub, like that. And so it'll cover the edge. And then at the top, the trim will be something like that, and it's exactly the right length already to go from the inside to meet the other mitered corner. So I think this is going to work out well with minimal cuts. All right, that side's in. One more wall left to do, and then trim, sealant. This wall, I just have to cut the hole for the shower valve and the shower head. So hopefully I get those in the right spot, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, that's in. My holes lined up really well. So I got all 3 wall panels attached. I'm working on laying out trim. I need to figure out how high I want the trim pieces to sit, and one of the things you have to keep an eye on is there's going to be the escutcheon for the shower head is going to sit there. So I think even if this sat all the way down, I think that would still clear. The other consideration is this gap between the ceiling and the top of the trim. I think what we're going to do is use PVC, like AZEK material, and make some sort of almost like crown molding, or some sort of, just trim that out so we don't have to deal with like sheetrock or anything up there. This gap as it is, this gap is narrower than 3.5 inches. So everything's going to have to be ripped and custom. I can have this sit up all the way up to here basically if I want, but I almost think that's going to be too narrow to do any sort of trim work in there, unless we just do like a straight piece. All right, got all the trim installed. What I decided on was it's basically 3 inches or so from the ceiling to the top of the trim. And that should give me enough space to make some sort of like crown molding type profile. I think it came out pretty good. I need to let the adhesive set up a little bit before I put the caulk on all the joints. Couple things I'm not in love with. This miter isn't as tight as I hoped. Everything's level and square. I think their cut is just not quite perfect. It's not a big gap. I'll be able to fill that with the caulking and you won't even notice. A little bit, this is more my fault over here. You can see this top trim sticks out quite a bit. It's maybe 3/16 of an inch higher than this piece, and that's just because of the way that the wall kind of has a bend here. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna let everything set up, and then like this is pretty flexible, so I can push on that and get it to conform. And so I might push that in, and then I don't know, I may drive like a small nail, like a finished nail, through here into the stud that's behind there, just to kind of hold that, and then just put caulking over it. Not sure on that yet, but I don't like how that looks right now. Other than that, I think it's pretty good. Bottom detail, I just ran this straight down to the floor, so I'm gonna have to just fill in this gap with caulking, as well as all along, the bottoms and everything. But on the whole, it's looking pretty good. All right, shower is done. We need to wait 24 hours to use it because we need to let the sealant dry, but everything's in. I think it came out pretty good. I do still have to fix this corner to my satisfaction. I don't like that, but I need everything to be dry before I start to move things around. But overall, install was pretty easy. This is a Flexstone product. The product itself is just fine. We had a little trouble getting it. The first one that we ordered never showed up. And then the second one, this is the second one. It came and the box was pretty damaged. So we opened it at the store, and luckily nothing inside was damaged. But the people at Home Depot were great. They said no problem returning it if we have an issue. So the sealant that they send, this is part of the kit. It's this, I think this is Pro Performance is the brand, but Nexoflex RTV silicone. It stuff's pretty good. So this is definitely nicer than most of the silicones that I've used recently. They also sent tubes of adhesive. This is the adhesive they sent, Performance Pro 2000. It's pretty good. It's pretty sticky. Flows well, but it sticks right to the material, doesn't droop, and it also sticks immediately once you put the panels up. They don't go anywhere. They don't move around. You don't have to hold them or put pressure on them. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how this went. In 24 hours from now, we'll be having showers. I haven't recorded in a little bit because I keep forgetting, but I've got some trim, quasi crown molding, I guess you could call it, all the way around the top here. This is PVC, so we don't have to worry about moisture. We are going to caulk it and paint it. This is just like a 1x4 that we ripped down to, fit in here. And then we got this molding to go all the way around. The PVC is kind of flexible, so it conforms to the funny shapes and undulations of the ceiling and doesn't look too bad. So that's in. I've got this towel bar installed in about the same location as the old one, but this one's just actually level and pretty sturdy. We've got, this is a proper grab bar. So if you're in here, you can hold on to that. It's not going to go anywhere. That's screwed into the blocking that's behind that wall. And then I'm installing another one. It's going to go vertical right here. There we go. That's the final shower, trimmed out. Still not painted. I got everything caulked and sealed, and all the grab bars installed. New shower head, the vertical and the horizontal grab bar, shower curtain. We're pretty happy with how it looks, how easy it is to keep clean, and it was pretty easy to install the actual shower panels once I got the space prepped for it. Next time we are putting in a new vanity with sink, faucet, and then that'll wrap up this little bathroom reno. Thanks for watching.